Joshua Dobbs, again, I think for me checked all the boxes. I know it's preseason. I'm not going to get too excited about it. But I love the run, the scramble down the sideline, the athleticism to stay in bounds. His numbers were solid, 14 of 20, 141 yards, no touchdowns, no picks. 4 rushes, 47 yards. That's a nice little element.
Yeah,
that's
like
a really nice element.
I like
he
it,
scored
Jay.
a touchdown.
Jay, I got a problem with him running.
What's that?
What am I learning from him running? I already know Josh Dobbs can run. He's got to throw the ball.
No, yeah, but you're not going to let him stand back there and take a sack, are you?
No, he's got to throw the ball. He's got to get rid of the ball. I don't need him taking. What do you mean get a sack? That last play he ran to the end zone, he almost got killed. So
that was dangerous. He shouldn't.
I didn't love the fact that he did stay in bounds because he opened himself up to an open field.
Yeah,
but the long run where he got his jersey torn, I didn't have a problem with that.
No, that was a cool play.
That's the play I'm talking about.
Yeah, I didn't have a problem with the short run. He fumbled the ball. You got to play.
It is still football at the end of the day. It's football.
You can't tell a guy how you play. That's just how he plays.
Listen,
I'm surprised to hear you say that, Bull, because your stance all year's been you can't go about this with thinking you're going to get hurt.
You want Myles Garrett to play tight end?
What'd you eat this weekend?
It's not about getting hurt, really. It's about I want to see him throw the ball. We want to have a conversation about can he be a number 2.
Do it 20 times.
We'll be clear. He threw the ball.
Times.
He did everything I wanted to see him do.
Me too.
And this is, first of all, this is not Xbox. This is not Nintendo. You got to play.
Well, it might as well be. It's the preseason.
No, it's not.
It's the preseason. It's meaningless. Let's be honest. It's meaningless.
That's true.
Sure it is.
I
It
give
is
you that. But
meaningless,
Bull, I'm going to tell you, once you get inside that rectangle, that box,
Yeah.
we're not scripting nothing. As it comes, we play, right?
Yeah.
And sometimes in this game, I don't care what sport you're in, there's a chance that you're going to get hurt. Yeah. It is.
Have we seen enough from him to think that he's a comfortable number 2?
I like what I saw.
No.
Hold on. I will tell after I see my man on Sunday, right? On Saturday.
I've seen enough of Josh Rosen to know that he doesn't have play.
Josh Rosen stinks, but we already knew Josh Rosen stinks.
I need to see the number 1, the presumptive number 1 on Saturday. That's
what choice do we at this point,
I need to
guys?
see a lot of them.
The bottom line is we don't know if Josh Dobbs is a good enough backup quarterback until he plays in the regular season, and we hope he doesn't play in the regular season.
He might be better.
You can't determine this based on 2 preseason games. You can't do it.
Backups.
Against backups.
Again.
He might be better than Brissett. I don't know.
Until you see,
there's nothing more that he could have done, though.
He played well, but it doesn't prove
You're going
it.
against
Until you
backups.
see Brissett and what he's doing, right, will give me my inclination of what Dobbs.
How much does Brissett need to play in the final preseason game?
I didn't see a lot.
Bro, he should have
played
been
already.
playing this whole time.
I agree. We all agree on that. But how much should he play?
3 quarters.
I see 3.
3.
Jay?
3 of them things.
He's not playing more than a half. I
don't think?
No. And probably not even a full half.
Is that a mistake?
No, I don't think it is. I think that they know. We haven't seen him. But
They've seen him.
But they know.
They've seen him.
They know what he is.
Just like I say with the Guardians, they've seen him.
And
so
this
you
is
trust
the wave of the NFL that you don't risk your quarterback to.
Patrick Mahomes played this week.
He did. He played a lot.
And was running up and down the field.
I know it was.
And Andy Reid is old school, but a lot of the Sean McVay school of thinking,
They don't do it.
You don't play these.
They don't
guys.
do it.
Right.
If I just
You know what? I'm okay with that under normal circumstances, but these are not normal circumstances.
Right. Nah.
When he steps on the field for preseason game number 3, it's going to be the first time in live action that we've seen this guy, and I don't even know how many ones are going to be working on Saturday.
But I understand that against when they were scrimmaging in Philadelphia, he got a lot of reps in here, right?
Yes.
So
Yes.
that is a game that you just didn't get to see.
It's not preseason game.
Tell him it's not a game.
bro, listen.
It's not, none of these preseasons never.
Quarterbacks ain't getting hit
Be
in
clear.
scrimmages.
Preseason,
That's the point.
Preseason is never a game.
No.
I don't care what sport it is.
But
never a game.
you want to get the closest thing to a game that you can, and that's a preseason game, not a joint work.
They're playing odds here. Right, the odds. So we're gonna see this weekend.
Them joint workouts. See, I need to stop selling that. I don't know the Players Association is selling them as really like games because y'all want to play the games. I get it. I don't like playing in them meaningless games either. But for your backups, those are important. I understand that veterans. If Deshaun Watson was playing all season, I wouldn't care nothing about it. Don't play him. He got all kind of game reps. You see what kind of tape you got on him. But Brissett, he's a backup. It's a backup.
Yeah. Brady went down. Where'd he go? Disneyland? Where'd he go? Brady was gone. He's like,
Brady don't need preseason.
He don't need it.
But I'm
Brady.
saying the veterans in any sport are going to say, I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that, right? But you need the veterans to determine the position of some people, right? Because
I just want to see them work with the ones. I want to see it's an orchestra.
If you put Brissett back there with the 2s and the 3s, are you going to really get a good look?
What are we going to find out?
You're going to get nothing at him.
We're not going to find out anything.
They would have played all the ones.
No, Chubb, they're not playing. They're
not Chubb.
They're not playing. Those guys, the ones not playing.
I don't think the running backs need to because I think the backup running backs.
Jason will tell you in NBA, when do the starters play?
In the preseason?
Yes.
That's totally
not much
different.
at all.
It's the
Yeah.
same. It's the same, Jay. It really
Well,
is.
you're not going to get knocked on. You could get hurt, but the odds that go look up the preseason injuries in the NBA and the NFL.
Well, because the
and then
NBA
we'll talk.
guy's not gonna play.
Let me ask you this.
Right, but even the backups when they're playing.
But hold on. When I was
The NFL's a gladiator sport.
when I was a rookie, they played.
Well,
as it
yeah,
got, as it
times
got,
have
as,
changed.
It, as it got longer,
They used
the
to
guys
play
were
six
like,
preseason games in the
they're like,
NFL. Remember those
we're not
days?
playing anymore.
Doug Deacon will tell you about the barnstorming tours. That
It was
they
unreal.
They played 6 preseason
And they
games
played.
Right,
in
and
2
played.
days.
And the guys
and
played.
they played.
It was
And
nuts.
they played all
Yeah.
over the country.
Jay, let me ask you this
I know
question.
they did.
If Jacoby Brissett come out here first game, right, and he don't look good, he got a miscommunication.
It's all
with
on
Amari
Stefanski.
Cooper. People gonna say, "How did you not? What did you expect? He's a backup. He
Right.
needs reps." And by the way, Baker played. Baker's playing. He came off injury.
Yeah.
So it's gonna be he's not helping himself
Baker
out.
fight
No.
for a job.
If Jacoby doesn't come out and play well, it's because Jacoby's not a good quarterback, and they should have addressed the
Right,
situation
right.
with Jimmy
That's
Garoppolo
what's
Yeah,
gonna
but
happen.
before he even
would
got
you at
there.
least concede that he has a chance of playing better?
Yes.
If he's had more reps with the ones in the preseason.
I don't buy that argument. I
God,
really
then why
don't.
do they ever play?
We should
if that's
never
the case.
practice.
So Jay-
Because the league makes them play.
Jace.
That's why.
No, I mean the ones ever. Why would you?
Jason,
Why would?
do you have a calamari written 2 ways?
Yep, he got it.
If he stinks,
Yep, he got
No,
it.
I don't do that.
Yeah, you can't do that because you don't know why he's going to stink.
I don't pre-write stuff. I really don't. But I really think
but
that,
you see which way it's gonna go, right?
But-
If it goes south.
I mean,
if
the
it goes south.
Jacoby Brissett I've seen in training camp has not been great. Like, they keep
No.
saying he's had a great camp.
I keep hearing the same thing.
Not what I've seen.
From
He hasn't
people
been
that are
great.
in
Okay.
camp a lot. They've said there is a noticeable drop-off between Watson
Oh,
and
100
and
and
Jacoby
again,
Brissett.
Deshaun to me
and
is a top 5
you'd
quarterback.
expect there to be some.
Yes.
Why would there?
But-
why would that surprise anybody? Deshaun Watson's really good, and
Yes.
and Jacoby Brissett's
So
a backup.
But you don't want to hear that. You don't want there to be a canyon between
But
these
of course
guys.
it's a canyon. Deshaun Watson's a great quarterback. Jacoby Brissett's a
So
backup.
what
Of
you
course it's a big
what you
canyon.
telling me is if they play badly, that means Barry's on the table too. Because here's the thing: you could have went and got somebody,
Yeah.
and you over here, coach, could have played him. You didn't do either. You didn't go get nobody besides Brissett, and you didn't play him. So I don't understand how you could be like not understanding
Well,
like this could be happening.
I'm not gonna let anybody here off the hook, right? Run the tape
you're right.
back, Mike. I said keep hold them hostage to win to this point right here.
Yeah.
Well,
That's that point.
I will say
That's old school.
and-
That's
and-
old school pro sports.
And the point that Baker was in the system before is fair, but I will point out, Kevin had these guys ready to go week 1 last year at Kansas City. They played terrific, right up until Baker lost him the game
Choked as usual
at the end of the game.
Yeah, but it wasn't like there was a new moving part going into a
And
key
that's fair.
spot.
And that's fair. But my point
boy-
is,
my
Kevin
boy
had
be
these guys.
killing
Kevin had these guys ready to play week 1 last year.
no question.
Without
No
really
question.
playing the
And
starters in the
against,
preseason.
against a Super Bowl
Against
caliber
the
team.
Super Bowl caliber team.
On the road in a very tough spot.
Yes.
And honestly, I thought they played well last year in that opener.
Oh, they did.
But again, you're asking the quarterback is the hub to the wheel.
Yes.
And he's new. Oh, by the way, your number 1 wide receiver is new.
Yeah.
I just want to see
Yeah.
those guys work
Continuity.
and get game reps in game number 3 together so we can see what's going on between
And part
these
of that,
guys.
I think, is the fact that the vast majority of fans haven't been able to see that. They've seen it.
Right, right.
The coaches have seen it.
Sure.
Every day.
Yeah.
But we collectively as a
you've
public
got a one.
haven't.
You've
And
got a
that's
one.
why
You
you
got a
wanna
1,
see it.
2, 3. I was hoping to see Brissett this weekend. I was just a little, right?
Well, we knew we weren't going
Right,
to,
because you
so
knew
I wasn't waiting
once
for
the
it.
Watson thing had played itself out, right? So we knew we had to get him some work, right? Mm-hmm. And then from Dobbs, I'm good on Dobbs' work for right now for where on the pecking order because Watson, Brissett, I see it. Josh Rosen out of here. Take the number
Broncos,
off
what
and,
you call him?
and
What you
give that
call him?
back. Give that number
You
back.
said it last week, Camp Arm.
Oh,
I said
yeah.
you dirty.
Couple things, guys. The Browns should not waste a roster spot on a third quarterback. The only time you should keep a third quarterback on the roster is if it's a guy who has promised to be a starter and you're afraid to lose him on waivers. The Browns don't have that guy. Who cares if somebody else picks up Josh Rosen? It's irrelevant.
No, he's
you
not
can
gonna
find
do
just
that.
a guy.
Rosen is gone.
Keep 2
Everybody
quarterbacks.
agrees on
The
that.
Browns need to keep. Can everybody stop on the broadcast? And by the way, the broadcast was great. All 3 of the broadcasters, Aditi and Chris and Joe,
Sure.
phenomenal.
Tremendous.
But everybody, please stop with the trading Kareem Hunt. The Browns would be idiotic to trade Kareem
Dumb.
Hunt. Why on earth would you trade Kareem
moronic.
Hunt?
Someone has to go, though. Would everybody agree
Why?
there?
No.
There's too much talent in the room. You can't keep them
running
all.
backs.
So
You better
Yeah,
move one of them.
I don't
get
care about
something for
Demetric.
them.
I'm not considering Demetric Felton.
Even
whatever.
if you even without Felton, so
I keep 4.
Is
I get
Stanton
rid of the
gone?
fullback.
Dead man walking.
Probably.
I
who
think
gone?
so. Just
Who'd you
because
say?
Stanton, just because
Stanton.
you've got so many
Yeah, I
talented
don't need a
running
fullback.
backs.
Get rid of the
Stanton,
fullback.
Stanton ain't doing nothing.
I don't need him.
Nothing that a tight end couldn't do.
He ain't doing
Right,
nothing
exactly.
for anybody. I mean, like every time he's in the game, they be like, Johnny Stanton. I say, what are you doing?
I'm keeping 4
I'm not
running
running
backs.
with
I'm
you.
keeping.
That's it.
The kid looks good, and I'm not trading Kareem Hunt. They were talking on the broadcast. Maybe they should trade Kareem Hunt for a wide receiver on the Eagles.
No,
I was like, what are you talking
You,
about?
but I think
What are you trading
you're
for?
going to end up keeping 4 running backs,
Yeah,
right?
but
Don't
I-
you agree
but-
with that?
Well,
but in those-
ideally, I think you want to
I
keep
think
3.
you keep 3.
But in this situation, I think you might be forced to keep
Let me
4.
tell you why I'm keeping 4, because 3 of them are chips, right? 3 of them are people that are desirable by someone because they've seen enough that, hey, I might like that kid here. I might like this Ford kid here. I might like DeErnest, right? I might like Kareem Hunt. I got chips here. Not that they're gonna be here the whole year, but I got a chip.
Well, if you're
I know
looking,
that.
if you're looking specifically as the chips, Kareem would definitely be
Yeah, chip.
the most attractive piece.
Not trading
in a
him, no
trade.
matter what.
But you've got to figure out of the 4.
That kid
You've
there?
got to figure out the best
Chip.
combo of 3.
Chip.
And we've seen Ford has looked great. We don't know. We
Ford's
don't
not going
know.
anywhere. He's
yeah.
here.
I would think that because they've drafted him, he is the long-term answer at
He's
that
the
position.
long-term Kareem
I tell
Hunt.
you-
I believe you're right. So if you are to the point where you're already thinking that he's the guy and he can do it, then you might see a trade for Kareem Hunt.
That would be one of the
I would
dumbest
not be
things ever.
stunned if they move.
Well,
I said
would-
in February they should look at trading.
You guys
him,
are
and I
out of your
got
mind.
killed.
I'm not
Explain
moving-
to
I'm
them
not
how
moving-
out of
I'm
their
not
mind
moving
they
no
are.
Kareem Hunt.
The
But it
Browns have
depends
no
on what you-
passing game for 11 weeks. You don't trade a top 10 running back.
It depends.
What are you
on-
getting
it
for him?
depends- I don't know.
That's
I
the
don't know what
question.
the value is.
What can you get for him? Can you get a wide
Here,
receiver for
I'm
him?
not
If
moving.
I
What
get
wide
a
receiver are you getting for him?
No, listen. If I get a 4th or a 5th for him, no, of course I'm not going to trade Kareem Hunt for.
No,
a 4th
I
or
wouldn't do it for a
5th.
pick. You got to.
But
it's got to be a
you
player.
can get a guy, an impact receiver on this team, and I don't know if you
Jake.
can or not. But if you
Yeah,
can,
that's it.
Nobody's
That's
trading
it.
an impact receiver for him. Nobody's trading an impact receiver
you just
for
got done
Kareem
saying
Hunt.
about how great he is.
Bull, if
Yes,
there's a
nobody trades
team,
him.
if there's a team that has 3, that has a glut of receivers like we do running backs,
yeah.
it makes sense.
Who's got a glut? Who's got more than 3 really good receivers?
I don't know how they feel about who they have. I don't know how they feel about who they have.
It doesn't make sense.
If
Kareem
you
Hunt
don't
is your
have-
second best player on
But
offense.
if you're a team that doesn't have that premier back, and by the way, Hunt, I believe, is a better player than he's ever shown.
Totally
here.
agree.
Right.
Totally
He's
agree.
a top 10 running back.
Of course he is, but
Yeah.
Bull, the problem is the guy calling the plays hasn't taken the cover off the sports car yet.
Well, you have to now
you
because
get-
they have,
I wish.
they have no passing
Can you
game.
get the numbers out of DeErnest Johnson that Kareem Hunt gives you?
That's
No.
the question. We don't know.
No,
absolutely not.
No, we don't.
I don't know.
Absolutely
Nobody
not.
can say definitively.
Oh,
We
I
just
can
say
say
no.
absolutely not.
They haven't used Kareem
Can
Hunt as
you
a top
name
10
one
back.
wide receiver they can
Absolutely
get for Kareem Hunt?
not.
That's not our job. Our job is to just discuss what they might
I'm
do.
telling you.
And what they might
okay,
do is they
so
might
here's
move
what they
him.
say. Yesterday on the broadcast, they talked about maybe they could trade him to the Eagles.
Yeah.
Okay. The Eagles have 2 good wide
That's
receivers.
it.
Right.
They have A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith.
Right.
They're not trading either of those guys for Kareem Hunt. The rest of their receivers are the same as our random receivers.
That's why I say.
Although
That's why I
not,
say.
not that I would make this trade, but
Yeah.
Devin Allen is not like our receiver.
All I say is keep your chips, right? I'm gonna tell you. I'm gonna switch it a little bit. I'm gonna tell you who I've enjoyed watching, who won't be around here. I've enjoyed Kelly. I really have.
I have too.
I've enjoyed
I
Kelly.
have too.
I've enjoyed Kelly.
Somebody pick him up. He's a good running back.
I've enjoyed Kelly.
Every
He's gonna
every
play
single
football this year.
every
Hey,
single
look,
year,
look,
he shows me
I
something.
come from tailback U.
Yeah.
Right?
No, I know.
I come from tailback U.
But
He's all right.
But by the way, Kareem Hunt. See, this boils down to what your coach is going to do.
Yeah.
To me, Kevin Stefanski, if he said he want a receiver, Kareem Hunt is one of the best receivers.
Use him that way.
Use him. Just
Yeah.
use him. If you
Kareem
want a
Hunt
receiver,
is a
just
better
throw it.
player than every skill position player on the Browns, not named Nick Chubb.
If you
He's-
can't get-
and it's close between the two of them.
If you can't get good value for him, then fine, keep him. But
can't.
somebody's got to go. Somebody has to
Yeah,
go.
you got
Well, here.
to. And the last, thing, they're not going to release anybody.
I think
I think all
more
four of
than
those
likely,
guys-
we said before the show, Dearness Johnson to me is probably the most likely to be traded.
I agree with that.
But I think you at least kick the tires.
I'm not getting
on
rid of
him.
any of them.
To Bull's point,
Yeah.
Kareem Hunt is a valuable asset. Now, to your point, Stefanski, do you know that?
That's
do
the
you
problem.
know this? Do
Yeah.
you know what you have?
I don't think he
right.
does.
Because if you know what you have, you're going to use the mess out of it. Yes, you are.
Yeah.
But we get it in bits and pieces.
But
here.
we've had
Take-
two
take-
opportunities.
Take 2 kibbles and bits here.
We've had
We
2
wait for you.
seasons, though, to see how he integrates, and he hasn't. He just hasn't. He hasn't even come close to looking like the player
In Kansas
that
City.
he was in Kansas City.
Because they used
And I
him.
think the difference is you had one of the all-time great offensive gurus drawing up plays for him there. And I think here it just hasn't materialized.
You also have Nick Chubb here.
I disagree
I
with you guys.
know.
Wait a second. He has looked just as great as he looked in Kansas City. He just doesn't get as many opportunities.
Because
So
you
the
have
to-
Nick Chubb.
But I'm saying, he's still great when he's on the field. It's not like he hasn't been great. He just doesn't put up his biggest stats.
Let me tell y'all. This is. Listen, I watch.
He's your second best
I watch
receiver.
all film. I watch every game since Stefanski's been here. Your problem is this: Kareem Hunt should be your tight end. Kareem Hunt should be your fullback. Kareem Hunt should be your running back. Kareem Hunt should.
I don't want to be in a tight end.
No. Here's the thing. What you got to look at scheme-wise.
everyday player.
Tight ends move and spread around. Tight ends go in motion. David Njoku don't block nobody. It's just a position on the field. You have to say, this is my X factor. So every single time you see us, he's in a different position. He can block. He can catch. He can run. Boom, 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 boom. He's here.
That's an every down player.
Every down.
But see, the eye test tells you that if I know I got an every down player, I'm putting him in every down.
Every down.
Every down. I'm not putting him in on third down.
No.
Every down.
I just want to see him more
I have to
downs.
find a way to use him, right? If it's out the backfield, he can catch the ball, right? If I say, okay, Kareem, I'm gonna run the mess out of you today. You're gonna run this ball today, right? It depends on how I'm playing, but he's not a guy bringing on third down because of, okay, Chubb, you out. Okay, Nick.
No, it ain't-
we ain't doing that no
Kevin
more.
Stefanski can't figure it out this year, then freaking fire his ass. Because you got two great players, you got to use them more.
This is Kareem's last year in Cleveland. Period. He's leaving. He's leaving at the end of the year.
Not if he go off.
So,
He's leaving.
but what does that do then?
I agree.
So you're going to fire the head coach because he can't figure out how to use two running backs and one of them's leaving.
if the guy is not a good enough coach to use his second best weapon enough, then he's not worthy of being.
So
a head coach.
Jason, hold
It has
on.
nothing to
But
do
we
with
just
Stefanski.
got
So Jason,
we scream every day that there's not that they don't use Nick Chubb enough. Now they don't use Kareem
I
Hunt
don't
enough.
scream about not using Nick Chubb enough at all. You
I
guys
do.
have.
There's
I
only
do.
one ball to go around. The numbers I've already shown you guys the numbers. Running
Yeah.
the ball does not
But
guarantee
I'm talking
success
about throwing the
NFL.
ball a lot to
doesn't.
him. You have to be creative offensively.
Yes, you do.
He's a great. He's their second best pass catcher. Period.
Here, if there is, and I'll use an analogy of a writer. If you've got a good writer on staff and you don't use them, shame on you, right? Because what you don't see in value, somebody else sees in value. There's a kid there that has value, massive value.
Totally agree.
And we don't. You playing him like he only worth 2 cents. That's how we playing him.
If he played for Bill Belichick, he'd be on the field all the time.
All the time.
Well,
If he
we already
played-
know.
Andy Reid.
We had that test case. He was with Andy Reid, who's
He's not no third. Sometimes
But he was the number one back in Kansas City. He's not.
Yes,
third.
that's true.
no,
but
he was.
You
He
can
was, you're
make
right.
him something.
Jay, you got to be creative about using him.
I agree.
You got to use him in the slot.
And Freddie Kitchens, for all his flaws, figured out how to use the two of them together, and it got them nowhere.
Let's
Got
do
him
this.
nowhere.
he did
Let's
it once. He only did it one game.
talk about
we want to do
Frederick of
the
Kitchen.
discussion was is Josh Dobbs ready to be the QB2
Gotcha.
There's no way anybody
on
can
this
answer
team,
that.
and nobody really seems to believe that he's definitively the QB2 here, right?
He has 17 career pass attempts in the NFL.
Right.
You can't judge anything off of what
No.
we've seen the last 2
But
weeks.
here-
And here's what I would go off of. Guys, the Pittsburgh Steelers need a quarterback. And they knew they needed a quarterback going into this
And
season.
he was on that roster, and he wasn't
and
the
they
answer.
let him go. They
Yeah.
kept Mason Rudolph over Josh Dobbs. What does that tell you?
All right, before we move to other preseason game observations, let's talk about what the internet believes they saw in Josh Dobbs.
Yeah, we
Nuggets?
asked the internet yesterday their feelings on Josh Dobbs, and we'll read you those answers in one sec. But as always, when we do talk to the internet, it's brought to you by PCC Airfoils. Are you looking for a job with career advancement and great benefits? PCC Airfoils is a leading manufacturer in Northeast Ohio. All locations of PCC Airfoils in Eastlake, Mentor, Wickliffe, and Minerva are hiring for all positions starting at $18 and up, plus full benefit packages, paid time off, and a signing bonus. Apply online at precast.com/careers to learn more.
I got nothing today.
You got nothing.
Silent. I'm so fired up about you guys wanting to trade Kareem Hunt. I can't even say
It depends on what you get.
You
No one's
can't-
saying trade him for a fifth
You
rounder. Nobody's
can't
saying that.
Get a good wide
How do
receiver
you
for a
know?
running.
You
don't know.
No team trades a good wide receiver for a running
Jay,
back.
I
How
don't
often
doesn't
does a guy
happen.
have Kareem Hunt's ability become available? It doesn't happen.
They're not.
They are, in your mind, are they shopping him? Because I believe they absolutely are talking to teams. And I also think
You're out of
that's
your
why
mind.
the broadcast team was talking about it. They know something's going
Well,
on, too.
that's the thing. You guys know as well as anyone. if state media is talking about
Yep.
it, there's a reason
It's going on.
why it's talking. I think that they're
State media.
it's media.
It's team-run media, and they're privy to a lot more than NBC would be if they came rolling in.
So you calling these guys oligarchs?
Where we at Russia?
Guys,
State
no, that's
media.
what they're called.
only advantage the Browns have on offense right now is their running game. You don't weaken your only strength on offense.
Let me tell you something.
If you want to diversify and be better in another area, you can.
You're not going to get a receiver that's equivalent to what Kareem Hunt
That's what they're working on right now.
No way they can do that. Impossible.
Let's see.
I'm not moving Kareem Hunt. Why? Because nobody said this. Chubb always goes down.
Chubb be hurt too.
He always go down.
Oh, I mean, he's going to play 14 games this year. There'll be games where he's staying.
Unless you can get a top 25 receiver, I'm not
doing
trading
it.
him.
I'm not doing it.
And there's no way they're getting a top 25
This
receiver.
is what I love.
According to you, he's the top 25 back, so why
This is
not?
top 10 back.
Top 10.
Why not? So why can't they get a top 25
This is
receiver?
gonna be
for
fun
him?
to see.
Nobody's trading a starting wide receiver.
They are if they
because
need a running back.
Who needs a running back? There's like 2 teams that need a running back, and they're bad teams.
whatever-
Every team is set at running back.
Whatever
Yes,
they do,
pretty much. Who needs one?
whatever they do, I just keep telling you, the time is ticking, Stefanski. I don't know. I don't think he understands what it looking like out here. You can go ahead and do all these moves and not make no moves or whatever you're going to be. When we come that, everything is in the chamber now. When we come on that first game and Baker Mayfield standing on that opposite side of the field, do not come out here and act like you could take L's and ain't nobody going to say nothing. You next up, fam. We seeing. We watching.
And there are no good teams that need a starting running back.
Before you flip that real quick, did you see the hurler outrun the Browns? And then I started thinking about Schwartz.
First of all, he's world-class fast.
But hold on. I'm just comparing that to Schwartz. That's what I'm looking for.
Yeah, because that's what a fast football player looks like. That's what a fast football player looks like.
I said that. I did like this, Jay.
That was a nice
my
dive.
God.
And it was a nice
I
route.
said, oh my God, that's what Schwartz is supposed to be.
My son trained with Devin at the Olympic Training Center. They're very good friends, and he's been telling me forever, I can't believe that an NFL team hasn't figured out how to use this. And, of course, yesterday when he one play, 55 yards.
You saw Schwartz got a head of steam up on the end around there with like crack go down. I was like
It's not often really fast guys learn how to play football.
No, but the thing is, Devin played football at a high level at Oregon. So, I mean, it's not like he's new to the sport. I think he's just a guy that has been able to use to figure out how to use that speed.
Because he straight up burned them two back there.
What a weapon. What a weapon.
I mean, it's not rocket science. Like, sometimes I would see Tyreek Hill. He would just run straight and be like, listen, you can run, you can keep up with me for 40, but 50 and 60, I'm open now. Throw me the ball. This touchdown. I need them right. Where's Schwartz at? Schwartz, you can't run past nobody just straight.
I guess not in
Big
pass.
Nuggets, let's get to what the internet's
Not
saying
in
about
pass.
Josh Dobbs.
We'll do this, and we're going to get right to Tim Couch afterwards.
All
So
right.
let's run through this. So we asked the internet yesterday, Steve, let's take tag board. In 5 words or less, we wanted to test the creative abilities of our viewers who we love. How would you describe Josh Dobbs' performance in the first half yesterday? He ended up playing a drive or two in the second half, but this was really based on the first half. And we got some really creative responses. Let's punch the first one here, Anthony. 5 words or less. How about this? Very creative from Maple. 5 words on the dot. I thought that was a good one. Pretty good. If you ever seen Curb Your Enthusiasm, one of the famous
well played.
gifts from that. All right, let's get to the next one here. This from the real Big Dev. Dominant, legendary, unstoppable.
Wow.
Damn.
That's a little aggressive.
You got to take answers from both sides of the spectrum.
No, I get
So
it.
He was very high. I'm sure Devin.
Dominant. Legendary.
I hope the laugh emoji at the end means he's joking.
I think it does. I hope it does.
But we still appreciated the answer. Let's get to the next one here. This one a little more leveled. Steady, confident, intelligent.
I'd
He is a
agree.
rocket
That's fair.
scientist.
That's probably the best, most accurate.
And that was the one that we felt was the most
I'd agree.
on the nail description.
Yeah, I agree with that. Mark, well done.
I'm gonna rock with Dobbs.
Nah, my
I'm
boy.
gonna go ahead and say Dobbs. Hey, listen, I haven't seen that much that he can't do. Threw a couple of nice
So if
passes.
Jacoby goes down in week 1, you're comfortable with Josh Dobbs for 10 weeks.
Oh, I ain't say all that.
How could you be?
I ain't say all that. I'm still.
It'd be a nice bridge to get from the second quarter to the third quarter. He's got a dinged ankle.
Cool,
But you don't want him out there for 11 games,
No.
I don't think.
No.
He's a pup in training. But I will say, a friend of mine who follows Tennessee football, he said, you don't like him. I'm watching. He's nice.
All right.
I said so. I mean, but he's got to grow. I mean, you got to get game experience.
Before we bring in Tim, I want to bring up one thing that was a concern to me. I wanted to see if I was overplaying it. I know it's preseason, but it's also a time for coaches to practice this stuff. I thought Stefanski wildly mismanaged the clock going into halftime. Am I the only one that
It was a little.
When he
was in
ended
the
up
group
kicking the
chat.
short
It
field
was
goal.
just- it was disturbing.
here's what happened. It was they decided to throw a ball over the middle, which is
Right.
fine in that situation. I thought instantly after that you'd use one of your 2 timeouts.
Right.
They didn't. The clock ticked from 38 down to 24.
Right.
14 precious seconds ticked
Gone.
away. And I'm yelling, timeout, 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 timeout. What happens is instead of getting 3 shots at
They
the
get
end
one.
zone,
They get 2 shots.
they got 2. And by the way, they carried one of their timeouts into halftime with them. They didn't even need it anyhow. I was really disappointed with how that played out because I know it's a preseason game. I know the second half wasn't played competitively. But let's face it, the difference between 7 and 3 is the difference in most cases between winning and losing